Cashman.
What's happening, everybody? Hope y'all been good. Sorry I haven't really put up a lot of videos lately. A bunch of stuff happening. Just really busy. I know that you guys get snowed in, then everything shifts, but down here, yeah, we've had some freezes and that slowed things down, but we still don't stay slow. I mean, it's still busy. You know what I mean? I did want to talk to you guys about something while I'm driving to a new property, going to look at a new property today. A company that we work with, you know, was asked if they had any recommendations for landscapers, so which is awesome. They recommended me. They recommended us, so we're gonna go back out there. It's a big landscape job, tear out everything around this condo that's on the water and re-landscape everything. So looking forward to that. Hopefully it comes to fruition. There's, you know, how many of these things that we go on that turn into nothing, but you know, you got to keep going, because eventually, you know, you get one really huge job, and it you're able to pay off or go on vacation or save, or, you know, take these chunks of money and do some really good stuff with it, right? But so there's a new property that we got, and we started on it, and we have this thing where we've been there 3 weeks, and you know, it's not unusual, obviously, to get complaints or, you know, people that gripe about blowing when you're doing condos, when there's 40 buildings, 50 buildings, 3 buildings, whatever. That's the biggest thing about condos. One of the biggest things is making sure that when you are done doing your maintenance, that you blow off each car. I don't care if there's 600 cars, you blow off each car. So there's this one particular resident, and, you know, he complained and all that stuff about his car getting blown on, and had called me on the phone. I hadn't met him in person or anything, didn't know what he looked like, or his, you know, which vehicle was his, you know, and he had just said, like, you know, the guys are rude and all that. And I'm like, well, that's just really not like them, you know. It's really not like them to be rude, you know, in any capacity, you know. So I said, you know, sorry about that, and blah 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 blah. You know, he's like, they left stuff all over my car, they wouldn't blow it. So I said, you know, I apologize, I'll talk to them. That's really not usual. Let me pay to have your car detailed. So $80 later, you know, paid to have his car detailed. I said, hey, so just to let you know, we will be there on Tuesdays. So certain day of the week, and, you know, that way, you know, we're coming, you can move your car, your truck, or whatever it is to like a better spot, you know, because there's a bunch of spots that are up against the wood lines where we're not doing much work or any of that. So, you know, I said, you know, maybe that'd be a good idea, just to avoid anything, and he agreed. So then we're there this week, and I'm actually doing the mowing. I get chased down by, you know, a relative. And the relative is, you know, so apparently the relative got with the crew leader, and then ended up wanting to find me. Long story short, man, came and found me, said that my crew leader was really rude, which David is like the sweetest dude, man. All these guys are. I mean, he's just such a nice guy. I just didn't believe it right away, but, you know, you just go, okay, well, I'm sorry if you felt somebody was rude. What's going on? I'm just talking about blowing debris on the cars. And I'm like, well, man, we can't do anything about it. We have to, this is a 40-acre property. We have to do all the maintenance, and then we have to blow at the end, but, you know, in a really nice way. She's like, well, I asked him about blowing it. It's like they're just blowing it on purpose, you know, because we've already had this 3 weeks in a row, and the last company didn't do it, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, I don't know what the last company was doing, but if they were able to keep all the dust off your vehicle the entire 10 hours it takes to do the property, and I honestly said, kudos to them. I was like, but that's not possible for us. I was like, we're also, you know, we also replaced them for a reason, you know. So I was like, we're going to do our best. And then she was upset because it wasn't going to be until the end of the day the cars were going to be blown. She wanted them blown now. She wants us to knock on her door to come pick her. And I politely just said that we can't do that. We can't come knock on each individual person's door, tell them to move, all that stuff. I was like, we're going to be here on Tuesdays, you know, if you want to move your vehicle, you know, with, you know, your relative that complained before, yeah, that'd be great. So anyway, the conversation went on about 20 minutes, and honestly just felt like it wasn't going anywhere. But you know, she was nice, but you know, my crew leader walked up and there was a little issue, you know, saying that he is rude and pointing at him and everything. I talked to my crew leader. He told me verbatim what she said, and I believe the crew leader. I believe him. Like, you know, you can tell when somebody's full of crap, but I believe him. You know, the person apparently was rude and said, oh, I know he doesn't want to pay for another $80 detail. You know, you need to come blow the cars right when you're done. And he had to tell her, man, we can't do that. You know, we'll do it when we're done at the end of the day. That's how it works. So, and then apparently, I didn't even know this the week before, whenever he was, you know, whenever the guy had come out and he was upset about stuff getting blown on his car. Not this week when I mowed, the week before, which was the second week being there. Apparently he came out and all the guys told me the same thing. They said, and I didn't know this till this week, that he was like, who the F blew the stuff on my car? Who the F did it? Trying to just show his size and bow up to everybody. And everybody said that they blew the car a couple times. It wasn't good enough for him and all that stuff. He was just, you know, he was just really overbearing and he just was not cool at all. So, you know, my crew leader had brought up to his relative, you know, so-and-so tried to start a fight with us last week. You know, we're not trying to start anything. And it got back to him. And so he comes and finds me while I'm mowing, chases me down. He's, you know, I was sitting on the mower, and, you know, just some things that I've learned from doing different things is, when somebody wants to act like they are, you know, in a higher position physically, you know, and emotionally, because I am not going to say mentally, you just, it's not that you're being passive. You just let that person have that spot, because you instantly know that, it can progress really quickly. So I decided to just stay sitting on the mower. I did not get up. I let him talk, turned the mower off, was really respectful. He started off kind of nice, but, you know, he was, you know, who said that I was trying to get in a fight and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, you know, as a matter of fact, my guys brought it up, you know, to your relative earlier, and it was the first that I heard of it. And I asked the guys why they didn't tell me. They just didn't want to make a big deal of it, so they left it alone. And he just kept going on. He was upset. He's just like, your guys are rude, they're nasty, you know, and they're like just blowing stuff on my car to blow it off. They need to clean it right away. They don't need to get nothing on my car, just going off. So I'm just politely saying, well, man, I feel for you. You know, I paid to have it detailed. I told you that we were going to be here on Tuesdays. You did not move your vehicle today. There's nothing we can do about it. I said, dude, we can leave, and an hour after we leave, there will still be dust coming down on everybody's vehicles from it getting kicked up, being windy, all that stuff. And I tried to explain it to him. There's just nothing I can do about it. He still was not hearing it. He was just upset, persisting that they're doing it on purpose. It got to the point where I had to say, you know, I was like, no offense, but I believe the guys. They're not trying to start anything. I believe that they blew your vehicle off and that you were upset about it. I was like, because you're being really aggressive. And this was about 6-7 minutes into it. You know, I was like, you're prancing left and right in front of my mower while I'm sitting down. You're just being really aggressive and just trying to show your size, you know? And, you know, and it's a thing to where I'm not, if I would have stood up off the mower, it would have been alpha to alpha, you know, and that's so stupid, you know, like I'm not there to get in a fight on my property. Are you crazy? So, you know, and like a lot of guys, we can all handle ourselves really well, and you never know who it is you're actually trying to intimidate. And I learned that a long time ago. And, you know, but I just felt like I just needed to stay seated, because if I stood up, he was going to take it as a sign of, you know, aggression, which, you know, which is really funny considering he was really aggressive, man. But I'm just using the brains instead, you know. I didn't want to have to get up and then deal with the situation. So I sat down and let him feel superior, you know what I mean? He needed that. Like, this is the kind of guy that needed that. So I just let him have it. Not that way, but, you know, I just let him have it. Let him have his thing. I just got to a point and I said, you know, this is getting out of control. I was just like, I don't appreciate the way you're, because he started cussing at me, and I just said, I believe my guys. I don't want a confrontation. I was like, so for that, I'm gonna stay sitting on the mower. I actually said, I'm just gonna stay sitting on the mower, because he knew what I was saying. I was like, and I'm just gonna let you go about your business. I was like, I have nothing else to say to you. This conversation is over. I was like, and I'm gonna instruct my guys to not converse with you in any way whatsoever. And that was that. And he was just going off, you know, this conversation's over, or, you know, your contract's over. I'm like, well, cool. I'm glad that you have the authority to do that, and, you know, do whatever you got to do, man. I don't care. So just went on and on. So I went and told the guys, do not talk to this guy. Have nothing to do with him or his relative. Do just stay away from them. If they approach you, ignore them. You know what I mean? And let me know. But it's really important that these guys know that we have their back. You know, there's almost nothing worse than working for somebody and knowing that this whole customer is right thing has gotten out of control lately, and I think we can all agree with that. The customer is not always right. As a business owner, yes, I'm gonna tell you that the customer is not always right. The customer can think that they're right, and they can be right in their own little world, and then we just don't work together anymore, and they can maintain their rightness as long as they want. But ultimately, what I try to do is give both people the benefit of the doubt. If there's an employee issue and if there's an issue with a customer, I always will immediately let the customer know you're right away, just up front. Like, I care about what you're saying and I want to hear it. Oh man, you know, it's just kind of in a way where you're like, that's not usual to hear that about the guys, but tell me what's going on. I want to get to the bottom of it. So they know that you're taking them serious, because I am, and I genuinely mean it. But in a situation like this, because I've had situations where there were guys that were really nasty to clients. I believe the client, you know, we let them go. We fired them. You know, that's happened over the years. That's the thing that happens, man. But in this particular situation, I knew that it was not the guys, and I knew it was this person and these people, you know, that were just being really aggressive and just ridiculous. So I backed the guys up, and it's just really important that you back them up. And we love the guys that work here. We love them, man. We love them, and we trust them, and we love them. And, you know, it's just, I've had so many jobs, and it's just really, it's really disheartening to like work somewhere and, you know that what you did was in the right, and the customer is just being ridiculous, and they pretty much, you know, will just give you the whole, well, I don't care, the customer's right thing, and it just makes you feel invalidated. And I never want anybody to feel like that when they work with us. So I have no problem letting them know, hey, you guys are right, I got your back, don't worry about it, you're not going anywhere. Because they were talking about getting them fired and all that. I'm like, you guys aren't going anywhere, you're fine. As a matter of fact, do not talk to them ever again. I called the property management company, like the whole 9 yards, we're good to go. But you know, and I think that everybody appreciates that. And on top of telling them they do a good job all the time and all that, and I mean it, and it's, you know, it's important, you know, to just make sure that we all get along and that we all respect each other. But making sure that they have, you know, that they have a boss that's behind them is really important to me, you know, and Leah, it's really important to us, you know, to make sure that these guys know that we have their back, you know, pretty much in any situation. I would rather, like I said, you know, the guys have the benefit of the doubt immediately, but so does the client, and we just have to figure out what's going on. But ultimately, you know, I'm not going to throw our guys under the bus to save face with a client, I guess, if you know what I'm saying. So I just think it's important, man. So I hope that you guys, you know, don't ever run into these situations. You know, if you do, I'd like to know how you handle it. Would you have gotten off the mower? Would you have gotten up? Not me. I'm gonna stay sitting down, man. You know, and it's not, I don't need to prove anything. I don't need to prove manhood. I don't need to bow up. I don't need to prove if I can reach, you know, my foot up to the side of your face in less than a second. I don't need to prove any of that stuff. You know, it's just, people are just have gotten so ridiculous. And, you know, I don't want to talk about clients and customers, you know, that's how we make our money, but people have just gotten so ridiculously out of control with this whole entitlement thing. And thinking that everybody's expendable and replaceable, and we're not. I mean, you can replace us, you know, only so many times, but as a whole, our profession, we're not expendable. And it's a lot of people lately have just gotten so nasty and so abrasive, man, that it's starting to get to a point to where, I mean, if you don't defend your guys and make sure that they know that you have their back, you will be employee-less, you know what I mean? Because it's getting so bad. People just feel it's they feel so comfortable just going off on anybody now. It's ridiculous. It's just so ridiculous. But anyways, you know, we have their back, and they know that we have their back, and that's that. So you guys let me know what you would do in situations like that, or what you've encountered, and I'm gonna go get some food. Peace out.